You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Leftovers After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Leftovers After Show.
Hey guys, welcome back to another week of The Leftovers After Show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. It's a solemn week as we focus in on the Garvey family.
Yeah.
But we're excited to talk about it. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Zach Wilson, and joining me on the panel, as always, next to me we have
Stephaune Wallace.
And next to him,
Kelly McInerny.
whose mic is
Not on.
Nah. Hello? Hey, Kelly McInerny.
And I'm Alana Jordan.
All right,
Yeah.
now let's get started on episode 4, BJ and the AC, which sounds like a really weird, like 80s band.
Does it?
I feel like we might have been on a different page with the initial thoughts
It's
with that one.
BJ and the AC is coming to you live on AFTERBUZZ TV. I don't know.
We'll go with that.
I can
but
feel that.
first reactions. What do you guys think of tonight's episode?
It annoyed me.
I
Just
was,
throwing it out there.
I was emotional a little bit, man.
Me and Stephaune were just
Yeah.
like almost tearing up. There's some really moving moments this week.
You guys are a bunch of girls.
Yeah, I gotta say I didn't like this one as much as the other episodes thus far. This has been my least favorite, I think.
I mean, I thought it was interesting at first. Like when it first wrapped up, I thought, oh, this episode was another like bouncing around, just following different storylines. But when you think about it, it really is just Garvey family.
Yep.
It's just following only the people in the Garvey family. So I think from here on out, we are going to see more, not necessarily character centric, but in terms of like we're going to focus in more each week on like a specific sect of this big population that's dealing with the aftermath that we've been set into.
Yeah.
I just feel like we've seen a lot of the Garveys. I was hoping this week they would dive into somebody else's storyline. So I guess maybe I just went in with the mentality of
You were
wanting
high
something
from
different.
that Reverend.
It was
one.
so good.
So
Last
good.
week was so
I mean,
good.
last week was awesome.
Yeah.
But
with-
Father's like one guy. The Garveys, there's so many. I feel like you have to give them a
That's
few
true.
episodes just to
Yeah.
get through all of them.
And we jump ahead in this week, 6 weeks, which I thought was a really big gap to just sort of bounce over because there was so much fallout from last week.
Yeah.
With all the stuff with Father Matt and the GR, and now we're back dealing with the GR again because we open on Chief and Jill in the off, or not Jill, sorry, Patty. In the office, and he's like, please just don't come. It's the holidays. Like, give us a break. To which
Yeah.
she is silent.
Patty has evolved as the villain. The GR is definitely
Look
the
at that face.
the
though.
antithesis of this show. Yeah.
Want to punch it.
Perfect
I wanna-
expression.
I want to
it.
know her backstory. Like, I want to get more into.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I hope we eventually get to learn the origin of the GR and like.
They got to. They better.
Yeah.
That would
Me
be.
too. I want to see more about each of them in little bits, especially Patty.
And Kathy Geis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just real
Because
quick about the
I-
acting, though. I mean, when you're in the GR, you know how well you have to act to not ever say anything, but we feel all of their expressions. We get what they're saying. We even get when she's kind of smirky and she has a plan up her sleeve. You can see all of that stuff. They're doing a hell of a job acting.
It's absolutely, as an actor, it has to be challenging.
Yeah,
Not
sure.
getting to use words to convey anything,
Anything.
except occasionally a piece of paper.
Right.
And Dowd does a brilliant job, I think. as
Yeah.
Patty. Just
Yeah.
all of them do.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of what she has written on the paper when he tells her, please don't come? Like, respect the families. Like, spend some time. These people just want to spend some time with their families. Blow off some steam. You know, it's the holidays. And there is no family.
I feel like she already knew the plan, like what was going to happen about with like photos. I don't want to give it away, but you know, so I think that's why she, and I don't know.
Well, I think Chief gave it away by even sitting down with her. It's like, it's always strategic, and there's this whole chess game going on, and Chief sitting her down. She knows that they're going to be all over this thing. So even at the dance, they're strategically 5 feet off of the property. Everything's so. It's always a chess move.
Yeah, I mean, it's to distract. It's a classic chess move. It's distract your opponent with another move over here. And let's talk about the pictures because that's a big. That was crazy. That was for me the moment that was super emotional for me. It was just like because it was so messed up.
Yeah, that's why I got mad. I guess it's a different type of emotion. It's angry. I was like, what the hell, God?
Well, anger is emotional. Like whether it was anger or sadness, it was dirty.
I also thought, man, these people are super deep sleepers.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. I don't know about you guys.
No
the
one got
slightest
caught,
noise will wake me up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the point was most of the people who would wake up were at the dance.
Yeah.
So they're like, everybody's at the dance. Now we go in and ransack
There's
their
a dude
photographs.
on the recliner though. Like
Well, he was super old.
All the old people were still there. There was a lady who was like in the bed, invalid or whatever.
That's the old people are the ones I feel the most sorry for too, because they don't have the digital backups of all their pictures.
Yeah, that
was
mean. That was what I was thinking though. It's like so you took the just the ones that were out. I mean, like you didn't see anyone roaming through photo albums. I know I have photos like stored in boxes like deep in my closet. I just like, okay, well that's weird. I'm gonna go get the old ones out.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think they were trying to do there?
Send a big message saying, you know, there is no family. These people that you're holding on to these memories. That's nothing. There's nothing left. That's their whole message is, you know, even their pamphlets say everything you need to know about you is inside here, and you open it, nothing inside.
Yeah.
Sharks.
Yeah, I think they're trying to cause like an implosion of these people. They want these people to just kind of break down. They're going right at the core, which is, you know, you can touch everything else. You can take money or material things. But when you go in and you say there is no family, and they're not going to allow it. They're not going to allow you to mend the wound or close that gap. They don't want you to.
Yeah.
They're really breaking them down from the core of their being.
Well, this is what happens like when you join the GR. They force you to slowly give up your own personal possessions. This was their forcing the outside population to deal with that as well. They're saying,
and remember too, because they have the "we are living reminders." They're saying, remember, don't be happy, don't feel solace, don't enjoy Christmas.
yeah.
And well, what is the point though? It's like, man, remember, but be sad, but there's no family. What do you want to do? Just kill yourselves, right?
Yeah.
You all should just kill yourselves, and then we can move on.
Their big thing is we are living reminders. So what are they reminding you of? Are they just supposed to remember October 14th? Because that doesn't sound very useful.
And if so, why are they taking the pictures? Because for old people, what if they don't have good memory anymore, you know?
Well, I guess if we are the living reminders, you don't need the pictures to be reminders.
They're so weird, the GR.
There's something
I like them.
I think there's something much darker and sinister behind whatever it is they're doing. I have no clue.
That's why they're white, because they make you think they're innocent and stuff, but they're dark.
But it's just
evil
absence
people.
of everything. It's just hollowness.
Yeah.
So go away.
Yeah.
Just go away. End your life.
Be absent from everybody else's lives.
I'm not promoting suicide. That's not what I'm saying. But just go away.
But it doesn't seem like they're promoting suicide either.
They're not.
They're not. They're promoting just being annoying and stalking people, and we will all die, but we don't care enough to even kill ourselves.
So make
Let's
it
just
miserable while we
in
exist.
nothingness.
I guess it's
And that's their whole mentality, it seems.
I guess it's because there's that philosophy of like just thinking about life that says like if we're here in life, if we just start and then we finish and then that's it, then what's the point? Why even do it? That's the dark side of what people who are suicidal tend to think, like, what's the reason for anything? What's the reason of life? Like, why are we here? And they're taking away any reason, I guess. I don't know. It's bizarre.
Yeah, I think it's almost kind of the mentality, because they are to us, the audience, the villains.
Right.
And so it's like, well, then what are we infuriated by them is the apathy. And so the show is kind of turning it on its ear, saying, you know, but you're apathetic as, you know, in general society is, until something happens that shakes you up. You just kind of, you know, nobody notices the nativity. A dog goes by, everybody walks past it, somebody stands past it, somebody, you know, one of the GRs hangs out. Nobody notices it until the baby's gone.
Wild theory. I'm going to throw this out there. So if the GR's goal, because a lot of shows like this will like tease you with like, these are the people you think are bad, only to show that their motives are actually good and there's something that we just don't know.
Sure.
Yet, what if we need to truly let these people go to get them back? Like Chinese finger trap style thing. Like you have to let go, or you'll never be able to, like, you have to forget them. Let them out of your mind and move on with your life, and then they'll come back to you.
The people that disappeared?
Yeah.
That's so deep that it's blowing
It's
my
almost
mind.
nonsense.
I feel like that's reading too much. I feel like that it would be awesome if that is what they represented, but I just feel like they don't even think that deeply. I feel like they're just like, nope, this happened, everything sucks. We all agree that everything sucks. Because you see Meg, you see who they target are the people who have that mentality of, well, what is this? What is the meaning? I just want to feel better. And then it's just, there is no better. There's just nothingness. And if you're not thinking anything, if you don't feel anything, at least you don't feel bad.
But what if that's what it takes to like move on to the next step? Like if it really is, if there's something
steps to
bigger,
enlightenment.
yeah. I mean, if you think about the true steps to nirvana and to enlightenment, it is giving up personal possessions. There's a vow of silence. There is just like letting go of family and everything around you, and just focusing on nothing but enlightenment, just nothing but nirvana. Nothing. You just need nourishment. You get oatmeal. You get the bare minimum of what you need to survive. Just oatmeal and water. You need to have nothing else, but it's a slow giving it up.
Yeah, but then they're smoking the cigarettes to like kind of kill themselves slowly.
So like, it doesn't matter because we're all going to die anyway. I feel like it's just apathy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there's something.
I feel like your version would be cooler.
When
we were talking about the cults we would have, I feel like your cult would be awesome and very existential.
Have a purpose. Yeah.
Whereas we just be partying.
Right.
So.
I think there's more to what they're doing. I think that we will see as we go forward. Maybe not even in this season.
We want to believe that. We want to. We have to. Almost.
Just like the people in town, I think we have to. And because we don't know what they're up to. And so like when the baby Jesus first goes missing, there's almost a part of you that thinks maybe it's the GR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't think that.
I mean, did you think it? What did you guys think when you first saw the baby Jesus disappear? Was it just GR, or did you think like, oh yeah, it's definitely got to be Jill or some kids or something stupid?
I thought it was the GR trying to give that whole message of people disappearing and us losing them in a flash, kind of thing.
I agree. I thought it was the GR too, just because they like to start stuff. You know, they like to mess with people, and
just like
they're
light a
not
match.
good people.
They like to light a match and walk away, if you will.
Yep.
But so that sort of starts the chief off on like a manhunt.
For a doll.
Because it's sacred. That's what Jill says.
I think that's part of why this episode I felt like it was kind of heavy-handed in the metaphor, like the whole we create our own idols at the beginning with the making of the doll, the afford a doll that is just anyone can have it and it's replaceable and you don't notice it until it's gone. I was like, all right, I get it. It's the whole, like, that's every Christmas story that we've had. Dive in more to these characters. I want to see more about them.
Creepiest scene of the show though was the doll factory. I would never want to work at a doll factory. Just
it was weird, right?
That was real creepy.
Oh my god, when they fill the plastic in I didn't know what they were doing at first. I was just like, what is that? Oh my god, it's a head.
It's a head.
So creepy.
It's a baby's head at that.
But as he investigates more, he because when she says like it's a sacred, you can't just replace it. It's like, oh, so it was you.
Yeah.
And he knows it. Stop being a cop, Dad.
Well, she said we're talking about Jill Garvey, right? She said that it's cheating if he just replaces it. Is that what you guys are talking
Yeah,
about?
she's basically admitting to this is a game.
Right. And but I think it was like a game of I need you, Dad, to kind of show me some attention right now.
It's what a little kid does.
Right.
Yeah.
They hide your keys so that you won't leave and you'll play with them.
Which she took it as far as she possibly could, and then her conscience kicked
She
in.
almost wanted to give it a Viking
Right,
funeral.
I was like, who thinks of that?
Well, because Amy's like, no, he doesn't even care about the baby. You know, he
Yeah.
doesn't care that it's missing. She's like, well, let's make him care and
Oh,
light
jeez.
it up, light it up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just a side note. So is the Roman helmet, was that poop?
No, I think he put his
think-
balls on top of the
Yeah.
baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, hey, is he about to poop on the kid? And I was like, why are the kids watching? This is not cool to me. I don't understand.
I mean, we
America's
saw-
youth right
but they're
now.
crazy kids.
They
They're
are.
We saw the party they had in the first episode.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
this
yeah.
seemed
Yeah.
rather tame comparatively.
No burning.
Yeah.
Almost, but no.
They were still playing with fire,
Yeah.
which I'm just going to say, lighting the Nerf thing on fire, it's not going to be very effective. We all know those things are air-based in terms
Yeah.
of launching them, and you burned off the other end. It's not even going to launch,
It's not
guys.
even going to get there.
Yeah.
We know that.
It also would have just gone, that foam would have incinerated immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope
Ask
that
me
the
how
kid-
I know.
I hope that little kids' toys are a little less flammable than to just like burn up in an instant.
Yeah.
We can only hope. But I mean, the mayor is telling him to just get a new one. And she's just like, fake it. It doesn't matter. You need a win. Do you think that, does he need a win that bad?
Yeah.
I think obviously because then it becomes his mission.
Well,
to
look
just-
at him at the end of the when he does return the doll, and he's like giving this crazy little speech he's trying to give. He's all, "Yeah, guys, thanks," and oh, I got the doll, and everybody's like,
Yeah, nobody cares.
"Yeah,
No one cares.
because it's
at all.
him."
Yeah.
They really don't like him. They I don't know what it is, but there's no love for the chief.
Do they really not like him, or do they really? Was it a big deal that the thing
I
was
think
missing?
I think it just wasn't that big a deal
Yeah.
too. I think everyone was just kind of like, all right, well that's cool
But
that you
it
got
couldn't have
another.
been if it got all the way to the mayor. People had to be saying
Well,
things.
kids at school were joking about it and stuff. I don't
Doesn't
know.
get to the mayor though.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I feel like people kind of like Kevin. You know, whenever he talks to people, he seems kind of nice.
He was not heralded at that dance.
But then he started shooting everybody's dogs. So
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
true.
like
I think they
that's
think he's a little
probably
insane.
When the tables
Yeah.
turn when they're like, all right, well you just shot my dog, so now you're not really the coolest to me.
Yeah, there's a little like this. Even if you have like a weird like, well, his explanation is kind of psycho, but in terms of shooting the dogs,
Yeah.
there was a bald guy. They're not our dogs. Okay, chief, you just can we take his gun away, please? Somebody get his gun. And then he meets at the dance. He met Nora. I thought that was that's a huge hint of stuff to come.
I think so too. I think that is definitely a big indicator.
Yeah, especially how they reacted to each other. Even after he admitted to like cheating on his wife, she's like, all right.
Which was also a huge bomb that was just
Yeah.
dropped in, which makes me think that maybe the original prediction of him being with another woman and that woman disappearing and Lori seeing it, and that's what making.
But I
think
see.
it's
I knew
possible.
it. I kind of knew that he cheated on his wife because in the first episode we see him having sex with somebody, and I just knew it wasn't his. I don't know. I just had a gut feeling. So I think we know.
Yeah, I think we talked about it, and now we have
That I was right.
confirmation.
Yeah.
But it's a lot to sort of soak in with that, because that's a huge. They did that a couple times in this episode. They just drop bombs on us.
Yeah.
And then just keep going. Just keep going as if nothing happened. But but with Chief and Nora, do you guys think that she? I sensed a little romantic, like.
Oh,
This
yeah.
was the seeds
Yeah.
of a romantic storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was definite
think
chemistry there right away. They were feeling each other, and it's gonna go down at some point. They bonded on the whole cheating thing, which is kind of weird, but it makes sense a little bit, sorta. I don't know. Her husband's gone. She just found out he cheated. She's like, man, I should have been doing my thing too. Maybe I could now do my thing. Here's enter hot chief. You know, and best candidate you could find.
She's just like, you were a few years older than me.
But now we're on the same
By
level.
the way, Did Nora's husband in that photo to you look like Sebastian Arcellus? I think Sebastian Arcellus is from House of Cards. Maybe
He looked
not,
familiar.
but I feel like
He looked familiar.
I feel like that means we're gonna see more from Nora, and that he's gonna be the husband. We're gonna have some flashbacks. I'm hoping.
Thank you, because I thought I recognized him too, and I just put it out of my mind as coincidence. But I think you're right, which just in terms of like casting and like that on you have to like sometimes go into it with like, oh, but we know how production works.
Right, of course.
Just put this random like guy who's a good actor in this photo for no reason.
Right.
But could
For
that
us
mean
to
that
see.
he's coming back?
I don't know. Well, we've had flashbacks too, and we've had dream sequences. I feel like we may be like, maybe flashbacks, maybe dream sequences, maybe some sort of something. Because I don't think the 2% are coming back.
No.
Do you?
I mean, I'm keeping it open as a potential.
Be too.
Maybe not. For
That
a
would
few
mess
more
everything up.
Yeah.
Not right away,
Yeah.
but like if you have to cast her husband, you have to do, and you have to show her husband even in a photo. You have to do that casting now, or otherwise you have to just pretend that photo never happened, or George
Yeah.
Lucas back in like a new photo.
I think the dream thing is a good.
I
feel like
feel
that.
like he'll come back, but I feel like it's going to be a flashback.
Flashback or dream is a good
Because
call.
It's like little flashbacks for, what happened with Lori, what happened,
And she probably needs her own episode eventually too, because look at what's his name, Pastor Matt. He has his own episode, so feel like she's a big character that we're gonna find out more about.
Yeah, and I hopefully she'll get her own soon, because she has losing everyone at once.
Yeah.
She has a lot to go into, and I think that her and whatever organization she's working with that like pays benefits out to people, there's something really important going on there, and there's so much important stuff to go over. So we're going to talk a little bit how important it is that you guys go onto iTunes and help us out. Guys, thank you so much for watching. It means the world to us that you watch, that you hear our insane theories and our like babbling on about this show. And the way you might be asking yourself, how can I help, Zach? How can I help this wonderful panel and all the panels here at AfterBuzz do a great job? Well, you can go on to iTunes, and when you go onto iTunes, you can hit us with a rating, 5 stars. Leave a review. The reviews make a big difference. It's not just about us feeling good about ourselves and how we do. It's about raising the water level of AfterBuzz TV as a whole network. It means that because good reviews keep us in the eyes of people who are watching, people who make the show. They do look at who's podcasting about it, who's talking about the show, and you can help us get guests on the show. You can help us find sponsors for the show, which is what keeps the lights on. And also, if you leave a review, get a nice little shout out on the program. So I want to shout out a few people. We had Idlehand666 who said, "Good insight to a strange show. Loving it." We had Bad Brad too, who says it's great to get a few more opinions on a show that makes you think as much as The Leftovers does, and it really does. It's
cool.
MLB Denver says, I've listened to a few different AfterBuzz podcasts, and I like their format and people. I think I like us too. And Fiction Boy says, I like a lot of the AfterBuzz shows. Good to see you guys reviewing The Leftovers. I predict now, someone mark the date, that we will never get the big reveal of what actually happened to the people who disappeared.
I agree with
I
that.
don't know.
I think so,
I
too.
agree,
I
too.
agree.
There was an interview where one of the writers said, if you're looking to find out what the big reveal is, don't watch the show.
Right.
Because it's not about that.
Well, that's the whole mystique too of the show. You can't give us the people
can't
back.
know.
Yeah, well, you do want to sort of bury the lead on that. You don't want to get into it. I think that eventually we will get some
Maybe, like,
kind of explanation.
Yeah, when it's canceled and they're like, oh, let's write the end. Not canceled, but when they want to end it.
Well, they did say
They're not going to cancel. It's a great show.
Tom Perrotta did say in an interview that like they know where this is going. They know the end of the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They know what's going to happen at the end, and they're going to build towards that.
Cool.
So I think that gives us a good idea that they're not just like winging it,
Right,
at
right.
least. In whether or not they are going to reveal, I think the best way to end it would be to tease us with information. It could go well, like oh, it could be this, it could be this, and like enough that we can continue to debate for years to come, assuming the show is like keeps up the quality as the seasons go on.
Cool.
just like the years go on, the years get tougher and tougher for TV shows. They get tougher and tougher on a marriage. How's that for a transition?
Good segue. Hey-o.
And we got a little bit more of Lori and her whole situation.
Hey, easy on Lori.
She's so mean.
No, is she?
Jill made her give her a gift, man. And
Which
she
was my emotional moment. I loved that whole scene.
Me too, because at first you're like, oh, Jill, like, what's she gonna do now? You know, she's a kid, annoying, and then she's so nice, and
No, I didn't think that. As soon as I saw her, and I mean, they're going through here's her parents, who haven't been together. Her dad's like screaming, but not in anger. He's like furious in the sense that he wants his wife to snap out of this crazy ass zombie mode, and he's begging for her to come back, you know, without saying it, you know, and here she comes entering in, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be what cracks Lori, you know? And Jill actually already has to have this gift engraved in mind. This is all premeditated. She's going to put that gift under the tree. And here's her mom. It was like beautiful. There's no way this could have happened any better, you know? And then to see what it was, I was like, oh my God.
Super thought, like, on point.
It hurt.
It
hurt to read it.
Yeah, I felt like that was the one of the metaphors that I actually really did dig in this one, where she has the "Don't Forget Me" lighter and she drops it down the grate, kind of just as a gesture to Meg, because later we see her try to get it, but we see her, she's thrown away her family, and now even if she does try, they're just out of reach. She can't. It's too late. You've already thrown them away. You can't go back.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that one moment, I was like, okay, I dig that. You got me. You got me. You got me on that one.
Yeah. And the passion in which she's trying to get it, you know, it's in her face, it's in her hands.
Gum on a stick. Gum on a stick.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, when you're a little kid and you see a quarter at the bottom of the sewer.
I wouldn't have thought of that. Y'all
the
got me.
lighter is probably a little heavier though. Gum on a stick.
I think she got the lighter back.
I don't know.
You just gotta get
We'll never know.
some really strong bubble gum.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the whole episode next week. We're just gonna try to pick up a lighter with some gum on a stick. It's gonna be really fun.
I love the fact that they're showing us every couple episodes, Laurie is not completely gone. She's always showing these signs of emotion and heart, and she still remembers. She's not 100% GR, even though looks and acts and whatever.
Yeah, she's smart. She's not ready to give up everything because she does love her family. That's why I think there's something bigger going on with the GR, because there's a reason that all these people are there. Maybe once they move to like the white coat stage, like the official no talking stage that Meg isn't at yet, maybe that's when they get brought in on whatever dark secret they're hiding in a basement somewhere.
And thank God Meg's not there yet, because at least she gets to talk and tell us stuff. I'm like, dude, thank you, Meg. Translator, please.
I know.
Soothingly that she's gonna divorce her husband.
Yeah, I know. Imagine that. Imagine some like your wife walks in who you haven't really seen except in like these weird circumstances in months and months, and Meg and like these two people show up. Your wife comes to your house, which you've been waiting for, hoping for.
Super emotional.
And they come inside, and another woman tells you in her. It's like a weirdest situation, but another woman is telling you your marriage is over.
And then the worst of him saying, "Just say it, Lori," and her refusing, saying, "My vow to the GR is more important to me than the marriage vows I made to you. I want to end those vows to stick with these." And him just being like, really just
I can't imagine his torment as he's sitting through that. I mean, initially you see your wife and Meg, they're standing on your doorstep, and it's almost like, hooray, finally, thank God I get a win, you know, like she's back. So he invites him in, and he's all cute with the cookies and the thing, and he's like, you know, setting it out. He's going into this, you know, really nice emotion, and
Gets
then
his hopes up.
Dude,
he's
it turns
on the same
into
page we are.
Yeah.
With our fingers crossed, just waiting, like, yes, it begins. You're gonna take him down. Nope.
Yeah, and when he's yelling, you say it, not her. You say it. And there's just you're just like, please say something. Please say no, or just like one word would have like changed everything.
Yeah.
If she speaks, it's like it's gonna move mountains. If she ever says anything,
yeah, she just refuses to. It's like it hurts.
it's like that moment in Planet of the Apes when when the ape says no, and I was like, holy crap, he spoke. Anyway. I don't know why I went there.
It's a random poem, but I like it.
We really want our Planet of the Apes moment is all we're saying.
I was also feeling like that moment in Seven when Brad Pitt's like, what's in the box?
That's what me and my roommate were saying.
What's in the envelope? What's in the envelope? I'm like, what is it?
That's what me and my roommate, we were watching it together, and she was like, what's in the box? What's in the box? High five.
Same page.
Not a head, though.
But the bomb drop of that whole scene was that Tommy is not his kid.
Which explains so much. It explains all that angst. But then they also, when they're showing him taking the photos down of Lori, they show the cards in frame saying, you know, happy birthday, son, and a photo of him with Tommy when he's really young. So you know that he's like really raised him and been with him for a long time, which I like how they have that exposition without him coming out and saying, well, I've been his dad since. Which a lot of shows, I think, fall into. And so I really like how this show peppers in a lot of those. Oh, no.
You have to watch all of their details because they're speaking a lot and they're getting us a lot of information through all these small details.
Because it's more realistic. It's how people really talk. Because I hate when you watch a show and there's a whole backstory and they go, well, you know, Tommy,
let me explain why I did this.
Blah, blah. And it's like, well, yeah, he does know that. Why would you ever say that out loud?
When I adopted you in August 6th of 1987, it was...
Which you know happened because it happened to you. Like, okay.
But
who says that? That's awesome.
I mean, they bring it in during the divorce speech of like, you raised him like your own. I mean, that just raises so many questions like, who is Tommy's actual biological father? And is he still around? Was he disappeared on October 14th? Like, maybe that's what drove Tommy nuts, was like, maybe was his dad that person that he saw jump off the roof of the building when we saw him? Like, who, like, it just raises so many questions about Tommy's backstory. And so let's talk a little about Tommy and Christine in this episode, because they had their own, like, nutso storyline with big reveals. That was like the theme of this episode, was like, we're just gonna randomly drop insane twists. It's been 6 weeks, so I guess that's like reasonable. But so we open on for their story, we open on Chief Garvey calling Tommy, and his number is completely disconnected. And, I've never heard that response before. There is no new number.
You're like, thank you, lady, on the other line. That was
another one that I was like, that's a bit extreme, guys. Come on. Nobody says, and there is no new number. You will never contact your son. Just give up, Kevin. Hang up the phone. You're not going to reach him.
It's a pre-recorded.
Doesn't it just go to voicemail? Like, if it's broken?
Or it just says, this number has been disconnected. Please hang up and try again.
Or something simpler.
The number. But yeah, I've never heard, there is no new number.
I was like, okay.
You have no hope. Thank you. Thank you, automated machine.
But we see that he's with Christine. They're still together. They're still on the run. And then this dude just walks out with no pants.
No pants at all. No pants, no drawers, no nothing.
The
wiener snitch
just flapping in the wind.
I kept waiting for the reason for the schlong, and they were like, "Nope, schlong scene's over." I was like, "Okay."
One of the writers of the show said, because we have an HBO show, we can go full Donald Duck. Hashtag no pants. Which the Kath Liffinger writer on Twitter, that's what she said. It was hilarious.
It was true. He was just in a blue shirt and no pants. Yep.
Which I like, because she basically is just like, well, we did it because we can.
Well, I think what that's supposed to show is that he came out of his dream. He must have like just woken up when he...
ain't nobody sleeping like that.
But when you wake up, first thing you do, put on underpants and then a shirt.
Right?
I mean, unless you had like a girl invade his dream.
Like, with your britches and your shirt off, like, it just seemed like this one, the guy was like, you know, I'll be naked for the scene, but I just don't really like this part. Can I just throw on a shirt? Is that cool? I'm fine with all the schlonger, though.
He's probably got a big, weird tattoo there.
That he's covering up.
It would have definitely raised it was already crazy, but it would have raised it if he was just totally naked.
Well, I felt like they were trying to show us what type of place they were staying in.
Yeah.
Like, is
Yeah,
it
that's
like
true.
a kind of a weirdo insane asylum, or
It's like a
I don't
hostel.
know.
Yeah, well, you don't really
Weird
take
hostel.
somebody seriously when they've got their dong out. Like, you know, you're like, it makes sense that Tommy doesn't take what he says. He
You're
just
like, oh, he's
assumes
crazy.
Christine told him
And listen,
a
I've
bunch of things he
been to
shouldn't
a
have.
hostel, and it's a lot cleaner, and everybody has pants on.
Okay.
But what did you guys think about what he said? Because the two quotes that I pulled out of it, "You walk over the dead," and "I know what's inside you."
And they're all in white, which I
yeah.
think was when the bus crashes and he says you walk over the dead, and it's the replicas and they're all in white. I feel like that's him saying, you know, I don't know. I feel like that was a slight illusion.
It was I think it was like a little bit of a prophecy dream
Yeah.
of sorts. I want if this random dude is having prophecies, is it that raises in my mind two possibilities. It could be that he is another one of these like precog guys, because we see this as a dream. We've seen Kevin have dreams. We've seen Matt have dreams. This guy, or is it something connected to Christine? Because
Yeah.
what's his name? Hugger man.
Wayne.
Thank you. Wayne.
Holy Wayne.
Holy Wayne.
Holy Wayne. He says that she's so important.
Yeah.
Yes, but I feel like it's almost a combination of the two in a way, because we're starting to see, originally we kind of felt like, oh, the Garvey family are prophecies. This is something to do like Kevin and his dad. But then we're like, well, Matt's kind of having some of that. Now this random dude.
Random penis man.
Yeah, random penis man. I'm just going to call him that. RPM. What up, RPM? So, RPM, he is also having... So it almost seems like there are prophets left throughout the world, and we've only been focusing on Mapleton. Now we're seeing a little bit of the outside regions, and it seems like this is more global than really people are even realizing in their small towns. These weird occurrences that everyone's trying to brush off as no, this is normal, this is fine, because everyone wants that sense of normalcy. It's like, well, nothing's normal. 2% of the population's gone. The world has changed. Things have gone weird. And so it's kind of cool to see how these different people embrace their kind of oddities.
Yeah.
And to go up, I feel the same, and I feel like she does have something special, because there's no reason for him to have a random dream about a girl stepping over some fake dead people unless she was important. So I think he, like, everybody's having these visions, but they mean something.
That was one thing too. I felt like it was they were really, really driving in that Christmas story, because I felt like, okay, this is clearly Joseph and Mary. He is taking this woman around with a child that is not his, that is the holy child that he has to protect, and then he literally is barefoot and marked at one point. Like, I'm like, you become the barefoot person to literally, like, in the Bible they say they're barefoot and marked in the desert. It's like, that's real literal. That's real literal, guys.
I do think though that Christine is she's turned on in a sense. She has some type of I don't know, insight or whatever it may be,
I
clairvoyance.
almost wonder if it's like the Antichrist almost, when they, you know, because there's the whole thing.
BJ and AC, baby. We don't know what AC is.
You never know. It could be Antichrist. It could be baby Jesus and the Antichrist, and that's Christine. It seems to be broken into two halves. Christine and Tommy, and the baby Jesus storyline. What if Christine is carrying the Antichrist? What if she's the anti-Mary, and now Tommy is the anti-Joseph without realizing it?
Huh.
Whoa. I love that. I love that theory.
Yes.
I don't know if that's what BJ and the AC stands for, but I love it.
I'll just drop that right there.
I mean, but she keeps talking to people, and like she's always like she's having
She's a
these
flirt.
random. Yeah, she's flirting with these random dudes. She
will
finds
not
another
stop.
Tommy. She can't even just limit herself to one Tommy. Come on.
She can't just keep her mouth shut. I mean, she's got something big here, you know? I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
mean, but what did you guys think of the bullseyes? To like that almost felt like, because he starts to like list off like new things that they have to do, like, we don't believe in shoes, leave your shoes behind.
Well, that's because he's emulating the barefoot people as a disguise. He doesn't want them to be associated with Holy Wayne. So the barefoot people we saw earlier, the like dirty hippies now, are basically, well, our cult is we don't wear shoes and we wear this mark, and that's kind of they're just the separate cult. So I think he's just trying to blend in. But I do love when it works in the elevator and the cop's behind him and he says, you know, son, what made you this way? And he says, I was abandoned by my father. Which I thought was exactly towards his dad cheating on his mom. And that's the reason he's now spiraled out of control. And then that's almost the bigger picture of, you know, God our Father, we're the leftovers, we've all been abandoned.
Oh, yeah.
Look at you.
Oh, man.
Boom, 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 snapping.
I like the bigger picture. I thought he was talking about like whoever's actual dad is.
Yeah, I think he was actually talking
him.
about his literal dad in that scene, but I think that was just the writers kind of overarching, being like, welcome to the club, Tommy. Everybody's in that boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's another person who's just left his life. Like, just like all the people, all the random disappeared. Left.
Yeah. They're just gone.
But so then then the bus crash. What? That was so creepy. There was a split second where, and I like, part of me is like, there's no way that they're gonna like have the disappeared people like be in this van. Like,
yeah, for just a minute I was like, this just got real crazy, and then they were like, careful, man. People paid a lot of money to bury those.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was so cool last week when we were talking about the commercial that they aired. That was a direct allusion to this week, to people paying all this money for their fake body to put in a casket.
So they can have closure.
Well, they wanted to set up like they wanted to set up this event. This truck just turns over with all these what look like dead bodies of these people that disappeared, and they're all in white. Christine makes a big deal of them all being in white. So clearly referencing the GR.
Yeah.
But why? Like, what? I guess because the GR is...
Well, I thought it was the GR at first, but I think she was saying, look, they're all in white,
because
just like the dream.
Yeah.
Because he was saying they're all in white, which I originally thought was the GR, but then when they show all the bodies, I think that was just kind of a red herring.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think they have to be connected. There's something about cloaking something in white.
Yeah.
Everything, it's all connected. The show is so crafty.
And now we're dealing with like the snow, like it's the season where there's snow everywhere. The skies
More
are
white.
Yeah. But I don't think that's an accident. There's something that the whole background's being painted with white, and maybe white is the color of sort of the people
like
who have moved on. Yeah.
White.
Yeah.
It's also just the absence of color, the absence of anything, and that's kind of what all these people are feeling. It's just nothingness.
They're vacant. They're vacant. So I mean, that's sort of like. There's a couple random things I want to talk about in this episode. The Chief's tattoos.
On his feet?
Keep seeing more. There's one on his foot.
Yeah.
What was it?
I think it's just Justin Theroux's real tattoos that they didn't cover up.
Because we see a big one on his side of an Native American woman. Do you think those have any symbolism? Like he's been dealing with animal. We've seen a lot of animals. Symbolism and stuff, and of course Native Americans are very connected to that world, and they saw animals showing themselves in these kind of patterns as signs from the spirits. Could he
It wouldn't surprise me. Everything in the show is connected. Everything means something. They are really good about showing like a thimble, and then later that means that somebody's mom abandoned them, and you're like, what? How? What?
But then it makes sense
and it all makes sense
like,
perfectly. So I think that's a good point. That's a cool thing to pick up on, that little detail, and I'm interested to see if they do kind of go into that direction and kind of explain any of that more.
I think they're going to become important. And you said you had some
the tattoos, huh?
The tattoos. I think they're going to be important.
Okay.
You said you have some news?
News and gossip.
Oh yeah, a little news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, well, it's not really news and gossip as much as we've just been trying to figure out what all of the episode titles mean. And last week...
Let's gossip. Let's gossip about titles.
Yeah, you know. So last week was 2 boats and a helicopter. And I was like, I've heard that before. Like, what is that for? It's this old joke. I'm from Alabama, so I'm all about these old jokes. But it's the old joke, a fundamental Christian is living by a river that begins to flood, and his neighbors all say, "Hey man, you got to get out of here. It's about to flood." And he says, "Don't worry, the Lord will save me." And then it starts to flood. He has to go up to the second floor. A boat comes by and says, "Hey man, we're here to save you. Like, hop in our boat. We got to go." And he goes, "Go ahead, the Lord will save me." So then water rises even more. It goes up to the rooftop. Another boat comes by and says, "Hop in." He says, "Go ahead, the Lord will save me." Finally, he's up on his rooftop. A helicopter comes over, throws the rope down. "Go ahead, the Lord will save me." Finally, he's up to his neck, and he says, "Lord, why have you forsaken me?" And a giant voice crashes down. "I sent 2 boats and a helicopter. What more did you want?" So I was like, nah, clever leftovers. Good job.
My only bit of gossip was like, after last week's episode, it all started clicking when people started messaging me. Half of last week's episode was shot in my hometown. My tiny little town of Dobbs Ferry, New York. The church, like, I didn't go to the church, but I know exactly. It's like on Cedar Street at Dobbs Ferry. I walked by it all the time to go get pizza. You know?
Hey.
And now I'm like watching every episode. Like, what is it? Okay, that's over in Hastings. Okay, it's a fun game now that I'm gonna play every week. But let's move quickly into predictions, guys.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So first thoughts, guys. What is gonna happen?
I don't know.
Well, I think because my only prediction is we saw Sebastian Arcellus, maybe, I hope. So maybe they'll go into a little backstory with Nora and about her kids and about him actually, the affair that happened. And I feel like if there was an affair, somehow that woman is linked. Maybe the woman that, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's all tied into something. So whoever he cheated on Nora with.
What if it was Patty?
Well, it was like the nanny, right? It was like the kids, like the teacher or something like that. He was saying it was somebody like with the kids. So it's someone linked.
Some people think it was Amy, which would be
Amy.
A messed up little storyline.
A lot of people say that they got together, they're gonna get together. I don't know. I feel like they won't. He's too good of a dad.
There was a weird little moment between them in this episode, though.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
Amy and Kevin.
Oh, I'm not talking about Amy and Kevin. I think Nora's husband, I think Sebastian Arcellus, potentially, like she said he was cheating on her.
Yeah.
I think that might have been Amy, or it might have been somebody connected, because Amy knew a lot of that backstory, and he even said it was with either the kid's nanny or the kid's babysitter or something like that. And it would make sense that it would be Amy, and then, man, the guy that I was cheating with, he disappeared, so did his kids, and now this woman, you know, it would make sense that she's still stalking Nora and wanting to know more about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
like that.
that's the wife of the woman.
That's good.
Or the wife of the woman, the wife of the man that she was the other woman for. Maybe. We'll see.
There could be a wife of a woman.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
I still maintain.
Not Sebastian Arcellus.
I still maintain the GR is, I think, going to be revealed to be somehow, with conflicting like emotions or reasons, on the side of good, for some dark, messed up reason that I cannot even begin to formulate.
Huh.
All right.
I think Laurie is going to be the deciding factor for the crumbling of the GR.
Interesting.
She
I think
will be.
Laurie and Meg.
The
They're
weak
dynamic.
links.
They're going to come back together. Yeah.
Especially when she's like, I didn't know you had a daughter. And then I'm like, ooh, that changes things. That changes things.
I think that's funny, though, because she didn't mention her daughter in that letter or that Meg was reading. Like, you didn't mention. That's kind of messed up.
That is kind of messed up.
Just try not to remember.
Not the fact that they have another kid together.
Yeah. I think Nora and Garvey are going to get it on. But I think we all agree.
Yeah. I think it's a safe bet. Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this week of the Leftovers AfterBuzz show. This was episode 104, BJ and the AC.
Baby Jesus and Antichrist.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Stephaune, where can the people find you?
On Instagram and on Twitter. You look me up. I am more fire.
I'm Kelly McInerny. You could find me on Instagram and Twitter at HollyWeirdo, and I also host the NBC Crossbones after show here.
And I'm Alana Jordan. You can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan. And also, I will be hosting this season of Face Off.
You're at Twitter?
I'm
the secret
at Twitter.
is revealed. You guys can catch me online at @ZachWilson, ThatZachWilson. And also here at AfterBuzz on The Strain and Dominion and MasterChef. I'm Zach Wilson. Thanks for geeking out with us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.